We promised a short break and then it was a long one.
Our apologies.
Thank you. Na kuanza kwa joto kidogo hapo hivyo drive chini hadi room temperature 21. Yeah, that will be nice. So we are full house, and full house I mean also our guest is part of the full house. Our guest for today has arrived, looking good, looking sharp, and talking about none other than the DUSA Secretary General Jerry Amimo George Amuche. Nimekosea hata moja?
Hapana.
Iko sawa?
Iko sawa.
Uko aje? Jaga. Niliambia tu hapa Jaga and people were like, wow, I remember. That Jaga that was it. Ni aje bana?
Mimi niko poa. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
In fact, you mentioned Jaga and I've just remembered many people don't even know my name. They just know me as Jaga. So when I tell them my name, so wanashindanga wameshtuka. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. Of course, I received the invite and I had to honor it because students matters. I'm the spokesperson of both students and also the government, so I must be an ever-talking voice. So I'm excited to be in this forum today, even to address some of the things that are happening. So najua mmeniita kama guests wenyu, but be my guests.
Okay, nice. So tukaribishe vizuri. Aska, do your thing. Aska is going to give you a quote from the Bible, a verse from the Bible, and then you are going to give us your interpretation of what it says, and maybe also link it to our current contemporary world.
Yes. So Jerry, today's verse is Matthew chapter 20, verse 26, and it says, "Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." I repeat, not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant.
Give us your interpretation about it.
First of all, I can apply the verse and the significance it had to even the government that was formed just recently. I'm not sure if you guys have done your research or it is a coincidence, but that was the theme verse of our party, that is DUPA.
What's this?
DUPA, that's the election.
I'm going to deny the allegations.
Deny kama are. Deny kama are. Hii DUPA nyingine.
No, nimedeny kufanya research.
Oh, okay. Who yako pia it just came. It's the spirit. So Jerry, as you guys thought about it,
yes,
what is the inspiration and the sort of interpretation you come out with from that particular part?
An interpretation that is mostly dear to my heart is this verse shows us the difference between a manager and a leader. See, a manager is somebody who is just there to enforce, and they put themselves in a position that they are greater than the people they are actually above. But the verse simply states that if you want to be a great person or leader, you must be a servant of these people you are serving. As in, they should be the ones who ideally should come first, and not even yourself, not even any other higher interest. So this was particularly important to us even during our campaigns, even right now, because we believe that we want to form a leadership that is beyond just receiving privileges and finishing your tenure. We want to leave legacy projects that the students will remember us by. And this legacy projects is, one legacy project is simple, just serve the students. And you can't serve the students once you have taken already a boss attitude. You must lower yourself to their daily issues that they are facing and address them. So if we really want to achieve our great goal of leaving behind a legacy, then we must calm down and do basically what servants do, that is to serve. And that is the whole essence of servant leadership.
That's a really powerful interpretation. So tell us about your role, who you've come to this studio as, what it entails, just everything about it as your introduction.
Thank you. First of all, my name is Jerry Amimo George Ambuche. I serve as the DUSA, that is the Daystar University Students Association Secretary General. And to just simplify this role, it has more than 14 roles in the constitution of DUSA, that is Article 15. So this is simply a bridge between vision and execution. You notice that every other leader in the school has a particular work that they are doing. The work of the Secretary General is to do the behind stuffs, to make sure that if it is the governor's affairs, communication is sent out in time. If we are having meetings, to make sure minutes are taken down and are shared to the administration of what we agreed as a council. If it's communication to the students, I'm sure you've noticed I'm the one who does most of it. So it is just a bridge. Now, going into the particular intrinsics, one, the Secretary General is the spokesperson of the students to the administration and other management bodies. Number two, the Secretary General is also a spokesperson of the student government to the students and also to the administration. The Secretary General is also in charge of oversight of the face and brand of DUSA inside there. You see from our social media pages, things like TikTok, all those things. I'm the one who is in charge of just managing and running those affairs. The Secretary General is also in charge of convening and taking down minutes of meetings of the council. You know, the council as it is composed, the president, deputy, secretary general, the treasurer, the governors from both campuses, and the SADU president. So we usually have meetings and we deliberate on student affairs and this communication to the administration on even what we've agreed that is supposed to be my work. So the work of the Secretary General, it's beyond there are a lot of things you find yourself doing that you have just to be that bridge between the vision of each particular office holder and the execution of those visions. So it's more of a wide and very, as you get more into the role, you notice that you have more to do than actually what is prescribed.
So, okay, now Jerry, you've taken us through it all, and we thank you for that. In maybe a quick way, how would you grade your performance so far as Secretary General? How have you enjoyed your role, your office so far, or have you met just more of challenges other than your ambitions?
So the office so far, I can't complain, but my own assessment of the office holder is I usually do what I do even as I was Congress. I take my manifesto and I mark it, and for my Congress I achieved manifesto, and right now I know I made a very heavy manifesto to the student body. And if I was to assess myself as at now, because I have set indeed timelines. There are a lot of things that I am still lagging behind, but of course there are significant projects and achievements which I've been able to undertake. So for now, all I can say is we should brace for even more progress, and this is a conversation that we can have maybe later in the tenure, because right now things are still in their pilot phase. But if I was to rate myself up to what I've done up to now, I would give myself a 63%.
Above average, that's nice.
That's above average. That I mean, we notice.
Yeah. So Jerry, now that you gave us a brief summary about your role as an SG, so tell us about your journey to becoming an SG, the challenges that you went through. Was it an easy road? Did you think you were gonna win that position? Was it your goal? Okay, like tell us about your journey.
My journey to becoming SG it's actually started a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I came into the school. In the first elections, I was more of a grounds person. I was just mobilizing voters from the School of Law to vote for particular Congress persons. But then after the election, of course, whoever we were supporting didn't win. So I just sat back and I thought, am I going to do this for the rest of my 4 years? And I've always had a particular taste for leadership. In primary school, I was the head boy. In high school, I ended up being a captain. So I thought, should it stop at that? Of course, at first I was scared because, for these other lower levels of educations, we were being appointed. I have never taken part in any elective leadership position. So if this doesn't work out for me, I would have burned whatever I've worked for since primary. So, it's better. I was thinking it's better I don't try, and maybe I just never find out whether I would have been or not. So I decided to challenge myself. I started with the Congress representative for School of Law. Of course, that is when I started knowing the intrinsics about Daystar politics. I ended up being the chair. I won with most votes. But then how we were treated as a Congress representative, that sparked a fire in me, and I said I must be in that council. And of course, at that time, over ambition, we tried to vie for the highest seat, but upon looking matters convenience and just who I am as a person, it was not the best choice for me. So I decided to vie for Secretary General. And our very able president, that is Lewis Sekento. And the campaign period was nothing more or less than, it was hectic. It was never a time you could sit down and you say, we got this. You could have sat down and you hear, the people don't like you and the ideas you're bringing even as a person. So I don't know what you're going to do. And immediately you just have to get out of bed early off campus and come to school, not even knowing what you're going to do, but just to see where the problem is. So it is a moment that needs you to apply yourself fully. I remember entering the campaigns, and Sesk can attest, I was more of a built person, but you can see the way I am right now.
That's just true. That's really true.
I lost almost 12 kilograms just because of the campaigns, the early mornings, the late nights, meetings here and there. Sometimes even there are just shortage of funds and just resource mobilization. So it was something quite hectic, but it needs somebody who can keep a cool head.
Okay.
Niliwaambia, unakumbuka nikiwaambia hizi vitu zinaanza primary.
Actually,
The-
I've
the-
noticed
the-
every other leader that we've been
Yes,
interviewing around that telling us they started from primary,
Benedict,
high
the
school,
vice president, wote walisema nilianza class 5, nilianza class 6, sikia wengine head boy. So
Jerry,
mwanze.
Jerry, before you take it to Lily, like during campaigns, there's so much that people promise, and this is usually a period that even you feel like politicians actually know what students or what their people really need, and that is the period when they're asking for votes, they're giving promises all over and etc. Jerry also gave promises, and some promises included free soya, which is a budgeted student activity. Other promises included a mobile application for students to engage. You also promised that communication would be more effective. Now you are in office. Are these promises still alive?
Yes, these promises are still alive. We know a politician first over any student institution is first a student, so they know where the problems are. But there is an interesting take I usually have, and it take more of a legal route, that there is a difference between a promise and a solicitation. So you find that a promise, somebody wants to be held to it, but a solicitation is you're inviting others for this offer. So at any time you can cancel that invite. So as even we engage on political levels, you must know what is the difference of a promise and a solicitation. But what I of course promised the students, which I am on record stating that the events which are going to be under my docket are going to be free events. That is one. Number two, the mobile application, which is going on perfectly. We have raised a proposal, and it's still in the final stages of review. So we will get back to you as students as to how this application will go. And I always say that some of these things, okay, for other things, it is wise to inform the students as the process goes along. But come our process, also it is being frustrated. It's rather you keep that news to yourself and stop even, you know, it is usually a bad thing to be a bearer of bad news. Like I come and say, even though it's not my fault, I just detest being a bearer of bad news. So it is something that is still in the final stages of review, and I want to thank the person who asked that questions for bringing it up, because now the students will know it's something that we are actually going to follow through and ensure it happens. About the communication, I have tried to amp the office of the Secretary General through, you know, a week won't pass if you've not heard from me on any matter. And currently we were handling the matter of passes, insurance, which the students are complaining, are giving their fair share of complaints about the insurance. That is also one thing I would want to say. It's something that we have already raised with the relevant administration. We were just off from a meeting with the president on Monday, and it's something that is being addressed. We may not say how right now, but it's something that it is indeed going to be addressed. So communication for me is still a non-negotiable in this tenure, which I promise communication to the students will increase and it will improve as it has already shown it is.
Okay. So Jerry, what's one issue you feel the Daystar student body is most passionate about right now?
There are quite a number.
Can you still mention them?
Number one is the grants of student scholarships. I receive very many people in my office in a day just saying the scholarships are not being granted as frequently as they were in the past. That is one. Number two is, of course, issues around the health care system of the school. Students are complaining. Also sports students you notice that the cover we have at the moment doesn't extend to sports related injuries and matters. So I've received a lot of complaints also on the healthcare wing, also food on the cafeteria and dining hall services. That one, if I would have failed to mention it, ningekuwa na shida. So yes, we've had a meeting with the Dell, and they assured us quality, which is something we're still following on. It's something that is gradual, although I understand the students right now don't need something that is gradual, because I'm also of the idea, if we are paying for this food, we should have quality, or rather we don't have even this food at the, it's not like we are giving the money then again we beg for quality. It's something that's supposed to be non-negotiable, but there are active talks. We have decided to make the cafeteria even a student experience. We are still in consultations with Dell to see how we can have discounts exclusive to students only, because we noticed that there was a certain hike in the food prices, but that was just to match the current economic environment of whatever Kenya is going through. But we said, if you're going to increase these prices by whatever price you're going to increase, then we should make cafeteria services in Daystar a student experience. We should make it less of a business.
Allow me to cut you at that point first and ask, how has it become that the economic crisis in the country has only affected one eatery, the Daystar Enterprise Limited? It hasn't affected Chiltons, it hasn't affected Off Campus. So suddenly there is a hike in food prices, not even an improvement of quality. And now the conversation becomes, if you have to hike, improve the quality. It hasn't affected every other area, or if it has, how has it become that they have managed it differently from these guys who are actually increasing food prices?
So as the governor main campus loves to put it, is that the cafeteria here is meant, the dining hall is meant for the students. And we've had engagements with the management of Dell, and they have said that they have tried to shield the students from the outside economic environment. They didn't adjust their prices even as the economic environment was becoming harsher in the past. This is because they were simply trying to cushion the students, but it has reached a point where the losses they were making were affecting even the quality that they offer, even the quantity that they offer. So they had to make a readjustment so as to curb these losses. They said that they were operating at a loss. Of course, I'm not defending them, but they are yet to provide the economic report that they said they will. But it's something that, out of goodwill and good faith, let us just try and believe whatever that they are saying.
You see, the reason why I'm asking is, and the reason why I'm finding it hard to believe, and like how you will try and do, is because systems have been changing in this particular eatery, which was once sort of the eatery which even provided services for students who, at the end of the day, the service will be charged from their school fees. This system changed, and now it was every student to pay as they eat. It is not charged from the school fees. There is no one-time payment for the services at the Daystar Enterprise Limited place eatery. After that, now you've made these changes. The changes were made why? Because of the same reasons. We cannot manage the losses that we are having. We cannot account everything. And then they promised there will be economic report after now the new system. Now again, food prices is increasing due to the same reasons, and the same promises are given, and people are now finding it hard to believe, because why?
I am also part of the students in this, in that I find it very hard to believe the justifications around the recent hike in food prices. But this is something that if you try and sit down and talk to these people, you will hear them saying that, you know, Dell is now a standalone company, it must make profits or else.
It was like that before.
Now they are saying
Anyway,
before they were under the ambit of the school.
Mhm.
So now they're saying they are a standalone entity, which is also supposed to provide revenue to the school through matters like paying rent. And you see, so now that made the times tougher.
So do you feel the resolutions that you came out of there with, it was a conversation between the student body, the student leadership, and the management? Do you feel the resolutions you came out with are for the benefit of the students?
The resolutions we have not been implemented would have been for the benefit of the students. But as they stand not implemented, then they are really of no much help to the student body.
Okay, I have a question. Obviously, as an SG, you're not taking, you're not solving matters only in campus, you're obviously solving campus, even off campus, right? So, in terms of like hostel life outside campus, issues with like, we hear students complaining about rent increment, but they are not like services. I don't know if there's something as the DUSA or as an SG, I don't know if there's something you sit down and discuss about it. Because you'll find like there's some hostels off campus that you may find you're paying 10,000 for rent, but services like water and Wi-Fi is an issue. And I had someone say that the VC is working on building hostels inside campus because the agents and the caretakers outside campus are being a bit too much on the students. So I don't know if it's something that you guys also sit down and discuss about it and trying to find a solution about it, because it's still part of the Daystar community, even though they're off campus. So I don't know if there's something you guys do about it, or it's a matter of them themselves to know how to survive off campus.
So off-campus students are still Daystar University students, and as you said, they are still part of the larger community, even if they fall under outside the campus. Over time, we've had a very rampant off-campus student welfare society, which, for lack of a better sentence or statement, it has been indeed very, very lucky. But you see, what we are doing as a government is that, number one, we are trying to reach out to these particular homeowners of campus and just have a memorandum of understanding, and just to show what we'll expect of how you'll treat students. But you see, this memorandum of understanding is supposed to be two-way. So this depends on, number one, the willingness of the owner from the other side, and number two, which we can control since it entirely falls within us, is how convincing we can be, to these homeowners. Most of them raise issues like, yes, you provide a student with the the units. For example, we've had engagements with the property managers from Orange County, and you see, they're saying that students even fake that they are paying rent. You see, they just show a message which has been entirely been cooked. So it is more of the loss of trust between, at the end of the day, these homes are businesses. So that loss of trust is what drives some of these agents to do what they are doing. But you see, for Orange County, although they raised the complaint, they still remained constant. So that was just a sample. So I was thinking about these other houses. We know of Mudaiga, which I've heard earlier on today that people are walking out of unsatisfaction. I also know personally of Monique hostels.
Yeah, Monique as well.
I used to stay there, but yes, there has been a really huge walkout, because when I entered the hostel, it was all nice, but somehow there was a problem with management and things just started going haywire.
So Jerry, sorry.
These matters are, number one, we need to hear like objective issues being raised by the students through the channels. See, the governor's office will always be ready to hear matters residents, and once you inform the governor, you can be more than sure that the governor will go ahead and inform me. And we have tried to make arrangements with even the new hostels which are being built. But as of now, these existing ones, we are going to need to have activities like revitalizing even the off-campus student barazas, which were used to be held in Heri. You see, there needs to be this interaction between the student body and the homeowners outside, so that they know we are in this together, because over time, this is a connection that has been lost.
Jerry, what is being done off campus, and what is the student leadership actually coordinating and organizing to be done off campus to deal with the issues that are there off campus? Because these are still students, and yes, we've touched on it in terms of housing, but there's so much security, pricing of food, generally students' welfare off campus. What is it, especially as the SG, what can you communicate to us that you guys are doing and coordinating in off-campus communities?
So it will be a very huge disgrace if I sat here and lied to the student community. But what we've done up to now, we've not really measured on the food prices of campus. What we have only managed to do is try and address the issue of security, which is in off-campus. There are some very sad stories which one may receive from off-campus, matters of assault, both physical, is also sexual assault. And we have personally talked and engaged with the police outside there, and just try and see what might be the potential causes of these unsecure areas around of campus. Now, of course, what one may expect is answers like students should not be out late and matters like that. Although they should not be out late, I don't think it should be a reason why
Library inafungwa 10.
it should be unsecure. The place should be secure regardless, because sometimes you can, when trying to get to the chief of the area, we've tried to, in fact, the governor lives around. We are still trying to set up an appointment with the governor of Machakos County to see how best we can address these student security issues. But all I can say for now is that there are active and progressive steps forward to ensure that the security of students, both on and off campus, is a reality that will be achieved.
I just want to circle back to your introduction where you said you are the spokesman. As the Secretary General, you are the spokesman of the students, right?
The student DUSA.
Yes.
DUSA body.
But you're the spokesman, you're the bridge kind of, right? So this means that there's going to have to be transparency and accountability. You did say that you don't like being the carrier of bad news, but sometimes there's bad news. There's that accountability that you have to have, and you say, guys, is this and this that has happened? It didn't happen like we wanted it to go, but it has happened nonetheless. Like the postponing of the student baraza, many people are looking forward to it, but it got postponed. So you see that, like those.
And we're actually heading there after this. We want to talk about that student baraza, the
Many people
expectations,
were
but
looking
tuende
forward
kwa
to
ipanga.
it very
Yes.
much. So how do you plan to address the student issues and everything we've come up with, together with still remembering that you're a DUSA council, you're part of the council, and you have to also bring their thoughts and decisions and naziweka zote pamoja. How do you find the balance, and then you do that without compromising the students' trust, because it's a trust that they have in you that cannot be broken.
Acha niweke swali in a very simple way. How do you avoid being a common Kenyan politician who is in government?
Shenga Kenya.
Yeah, because exactly. How do you avoid actually deciding to take the government side when giving the
that's
Nini
exactly
rather
what
than
I'm
the
asking.
interests of Nini?
Because there's that trust that students have in you.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you not break that?
So the question has been rolled from quite back, but yes, I will start, of course, with the talking about the student baraza. It saddened me that I had to postpone the student baraza. Number one is because we were having too many activities taking place at the same time, and this one I would love to state it clearly, is that I have a big scare that what is supposed to be happening on that Wednesday afternoons is supposed to be for student activities, but when I schedule the baraza for then, you hear that students are having classes. You know, ideally they are not supposed to be any Wednesday afternoon classes.
True,
Mhm.
true. It's a
Very
culture that should be
Really?
there.
It's not
It's
just Nairobi
only
campus.
Nairobi that is honoring that part.
Even in Athi River, it's supposed to be there.
It's Daystar.
Now I know. I'm going to bring this SG.
But School of Communication, sisi bado we are holding it.
So it's
Si afadhali.
Afadhali sisi. SG.
it's usually very, you know, these are some of the challenges. We are even trying to come up with a date. It's a challenge because, of course, we know Tuesday, it's a very busy day for most of the students. Ideally, what we are supposed to have is Wednesday afternoon, but you see, Tuesday can have any activity because you don't know which dignitary might come to chapel, and you don't know how long they might stay.
Yeah,
So, and you notice that for us to have a student baraza, it's not only going to be me who's answering the student questions. If a student raises an issue about finance, a representative from the finance office must
Has
be
to
there.
be there.
If a student raises an issue about registrar grades, a person from the registrar's office must be there to answer that question. About hostels, we are going to be having a person representing the residents to be there to answer those questions. So it is something that we need to have many stakeholders on board, which I'm just going to send out a statement to the entirety of the university that the student baraza, although I wrote on the email, is going to be on Tuesday. We are not going to give up on that Wednesday afternoon that lightly. So that Wednesday afternoon is meant for student activities. That is why we have interactive Wednesdays in Nairobi campus, but it's something that we must also realize in Athi River campus. So the student baraza will be on Wednesday afternoon.
So now,
next week.
about balancing, when you are communicating to students,
Yes.
how do you balance the interest of, first of all, assume these are two clashing interests, the interest of your association, the DUSA association, your team, DUPA, and also the interest of the students when giving the communication.
So I'll start by just repeating that I usually hate to be the bearer of bad news, and you will find that I will try to over-explain and make the announcement lighter. So balancing the interest is that at the end of the day, I do not have as much of that as an obligation to communicate clearly to the government that I serve in, because they see things firsthand. But the obligation I do have is to the students, to communicate to them whatever is happening in the higher upper echelons of leadership. So that is the real obligation here. And yes, there's going to be the need to balance the interest, but I think sometimes we do forget why we are in those offices, because it's actually funny, but everybody in the leadership in DUSA is replaceable, but you can't replace the student body.
Yeah.
So these are more of our employers. You guys are our employers. So the real obligation is towards you. But then there is no denying that sometimes interests come and interests are real. So the only way to balance this is, if you decide to take the interest route, kindly stick to the interest route. If you decide it's the students, stick to the students, because whatever is going on even in the national politics is that there are two voices. Today you wake up, you say the citizens should be shot. Tomorrow you wake up
and you're saying that actually police
They
should
should
not
be
shoot.
they should accompany
Yes.
them.
Harmony.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
all you want is harmony. Anyway,
So you see, it is just picking the side you think is right. Everybody has free will. Everybody has a choice, and sticking to it. Once you've committed to one side, do not confuse the rest. Just stick to it.
we just have a few minutes to go, Jerry, but there's a few questions we still have here. And the first one will be, as you've talked about interests, the person you've inherited the office from, the former SG Collins, is a person who ended this tenure with some, let me say, controversies. And when it comes to SOEA, some of the models are claiming they even did get the pay they're supposed to get. Pictures weren't sent to students who were taking pictures. The award winners, even people were asking, were the award winners paid? All of these things remained unanswered. When you question the whole DUSA up to the treasurer, no answers were given. And these guys have gone and they're not receiving any phone call. What can you say about it, and do you see it something to change, and will you change it? Will there be accountability in your tenure?
Of course, this matter of the office of the Secretary General, it is heartbreaking, because as I told you, the office and the students will always remain. The office bearers will change. So you find that some of these things that happened in the last year, they will drag out, because I also have people coming to tell me, yes, I won an award, there is no certificate, I was given nothing. So what do we do up until there? And you find that, yes, you go and look, the office depleted its budget. So it's a real challenge that you really need to do some explaining, even in the finance manager's office, to even try and resolve these issues. But this is of course something that I usually hate to dwell so much in the past, but I will just want to promise that every model who felt undersatisfied, some of them still text me even on Instagram. Some are external models saying that they were not reimbursed. Some are even judges. This leaves a very tarnished name for Daystar University. Because right now what I'm scared about is, when we try to engage people in the next SOEA, you'll hear, oh, Daystar hiyo ndo shule ya mlipangi ama mpeangi watu awards ama.
Exactly.
So it's something that we will need to reconcile, and I'm calling upon those who are feeling unsatisfied. We need to reconcile these matters even as we start replanning the SOEA for next year. So it is something that it will not happen in this year's SOEA, not this year's, but rather next year's. And this is an event where I'm going to come back to the drawing board and listen to what students want, because ideally it is not my event but the students' event. So student engagement in DUSA events is something that I'm going to establish and just stabilize, so that we avoid some of these issues that we are having.
Great. Before Lily closes us off, a quick one. What do you expect in the coming baraza, because it was postponed, and the word postponed means taken to another day? You tell us the day and tell us what you expect. Do you expect clashes, or do you expect constructive issues raised, constructive reports, and how are the reports going to be worked on to better Daystar?
Thank you for that question. The upcoming student baraza on the 23rd of July 2025, you know, it's going to be quite an uncontrollable session, because I've heard the way students are speaking to some of the issues with a lot of passion, and so mine is not to filter and try and pose some resistance to the students. This is a platform that students should air out their views without fear of being contradicted or criticized or judged, because to the point where a student becomes, okay, for lack of a better word, say rowdy, it means there's something very wrong.
Sure.
And suppressing them at this baraza, that is not a solution, it's only more agitation.
Yes.
So it's something that, although I will put in procedures and say, 1 minute, I know these are things we are not going to follow, but just for the purpose of the books, they must be there. I know people are going to raise objective issues, others are going to be overwhelmed by the issues that they are facing. So it's something that me and the planning committee and I are putting in measures, not to restrict students, but to handle extremes. Just if a student is raising an issue and it's not being addressed, it's being ignored, we are going to further give them the platform once again to ask the question, things like that. So it is going to be a huge reality check, and I think it's good we have it for starters, so that we even form a foundation for even more student barazas where student issues are significantly addressed.
Because of time, maybe to close us off, is there any upcoming events or reforms or partnerships apart from the student baraza? Maybe is there anything else upcoming which is big you would like to let us know, and also maybe any final message you have for us, like these students?
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
Okay, so upcoming partnerships, we have one partnership with the Prestige Mall, as I had earlier announced and advertised. We are looking for exclusive offers for Daystar students, which includes offers of up to 30% on the activities that the Prestige Mall provides. They have a play zone, they have eateries, and they have a place where students can record it's called podcasts and their shows. They are going to offer, for example, for the podcast and shows, they are going to offer the venue for free. It's something that it's a big partnership that I cannot fail to announce to the students. And Prestige Plaza, I've been to the place. It's a nice spot just to chill and entertain yourself. And bringing in these offers of Daystar students of up to 30%, and even free on some days where we're going to be having Daystar themed days and evenings. It's going to be a nice endeavor. They are going to provide free event spaces for any event that is it you want to have. Maybe it's a game night. They have things like karaoke. So it's a nice endeavor, which after we sign the MOU, I will not shy away from telling the students. And also additionally, we have the VC run, the Laban Ayiro Peter run, which is coming up under the Office of the President. That is on the 11th of October 2025. You will hear communication about it very soon. And then this remains dear to my heart, because next semester we are going to be having repackaged events there is going to be nothing like Fun Day anymore. We're going to be having a Daystar festival, and I can just tell all students to stay tuned. It's going to be a nice experience. And then also next semester we are going to be having the Daystar Got Talent. So all those talented individuals, you can start preparing. The prize I will announce, but it's not going to be a meal feed.
Spicy.
Nice. So with that, we wrap up our conversation with the SG, and there's surely so much that we've remained that we haven't touched on. Talk about student affairs, talk about DUSA affairs, talk about controversies, talk about achievements and everything. Jerry, in seconds, just tell your people bye.
So to the whole of DUSA community, the Daystar community, thank you for tuning in and listening to me. Also, thank you to our very able hosts who are my guests for the purpose of this session.
Welcome.
And then let us work together to build something meaningful. As I like to say, nothing will happen if nothing happens.
Shukran. Aska,
Yes.
because of time, naona pale ma producer wananikimbiza kimbiza. Pia wewe ambia tu waseme bye watu wako.
Guys, mi sina much ya kusema. Mubaki poa. Kesho niko na show ya mental health 7:15 to 9. If you're interested in that, you can tune in.
I don't even have much to say. It was nice having the SG with us. It was a nice interview. I've learned a lot from it. And all I can say, continue to tune in next week, same time, same place.
And Jerry, kidogo tu, sorry. To our listeners and our viewers, wale wa sauti iko hivi, but sasa hawajasema anything much. Umeongelea Instagram na ukasema some people normally reach you and they talk about some things towards you at Instagram. Can you tell us how they can catch you on social media? Quick, fast too, and then those who will remain even watching via YouTube later on, they will know.
Okay, to reach me, of course, if you reach the DUSA pages, you've reached me. You can reach the DUSA pages at Instagram, DUSA Council _official, same as TikTok. And just for personalized communication, you can reach me at my Instagram at that guy Jaga. My phone number is 0700515171.
Nice. To all our listeners, it was nice having you. It was nice. Just you've been warming us up. Hadi ndio maana tukafika mahali tukasema pelekeni AC chini. The love has been warming us jamani. And all the way since 7:30 till it's now 10:38, 8 minutes past the time that we should be done with our show. We're saying thank you. Tomorrow, also catch us. We're going to have a very nice conversation with some other big people at Daystar University. So remain curious. Stay tuned. Tupatane kesho asubuhi. You can catch us live, or if you're going for classes and everything, we'll just upload the show later on and you'll get to watch us. Thank you. Take care. Mujibambe.
Bye.
Bye.